What button?
It's on here, we're on here now.
Okay. Good evening. The appointed time has arrived. The chair opens the February 7th, 2024 meeting at the Mashpee Planning Board here at Town Hall in the Coit Room, 16 Great Neck Road North, Mashpee, Mass. Time is 7 p.m. Everyone is welcome here tonight. We're being broadcast live on local channel 8 and streamed live on the Town of Mashpee website at www.mashpeema.gov/channel-8*. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Karen, just before we do, can you ask Ed to mute his computer?
What's that?
To mute his Zoom? I can hear him typing. Sorry, he stood up. I'll get to it in a second.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. What I was saying, Karen, is would you ask Ed to just mute his Zoom while
Yeah.
he's typing?
Ed, will you mute your Zoom?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I believe it. I'm sorry. I believe my Zoom.
Oh,
is
you know what?
muted,
It's the
but I'll
phone.
Zoom-
It's the
I'll
phone.
I'll mute my phone.
That'll work.
Oh, the phone, okay. Thank you, Ed.
Thanks, Ed.
Next, we have two sets of minutes. We have the January 3rd minutes of the meeting. We have them here. Does anyone have any edits or changes? No? Do I hear a motion?
Can I,
to-
wait, I'm sorry, I read the latter ones, just let me look at something on the third. Yep, I'm fine.
Okay. Does anyone have any issues?
Nope,
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
don't pay.
To accept both the January 3rd and the January 17th?
No, I just do one at a
Oh,
time.
sorry,
Any
January 3rd.
objections?
I'll second that.
Yeah, aye.
Aye,
Aye.
Okay, pass. The second one is January 17th, minutes of the meeting. This is a very long one. Any changes or edits?
that is it.
Maybe we should take some time on these. Now that you said they're very long, I'm like, can we put
We want to
these,
defer this till
the next one,
time.
yeah. I mean, I usually make sure like all the votes are right and, but, now that you said they're very long, I'm like, okay.
All those in favor of deferring the decision on the minutes of the meeting of January 17th, 2024 until our next meeting, which will be February 21.
I move that motion.
Second,
Aye.
aye,
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you, Karen.
Okay, now we come to public comment. Is there anyone here who would like to say anything? Okay. Next, we have, where's my cover here? Oh, 1 second here. New business.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, approval ANR, approval not required. The applicant is New Seabury Homes LLC, the location 17 Azalea Lane, maps/parcels 116-74-00 and 110-8-0. This is a request for a re-endorsement of a plan previously accepted by the planning board as approval not required. The land court has requested that certain information be added to the ANR plan, such as plan title change, new lot numbers reference the land court plan number of all abutting lots, showing the opposite side of Red Brook Road, certain dimensional criteria, labels, and updates of the field survey date. Additionally, land court has requested setting bounds in 2 locations. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Madam Chairman. For the record, my name is Kieran Healy. I'm a land surveyor with the BSC Group. The explanation you have covers everything. The primary change was that when we submit plans to the land court, they don't give us the lot numbers in advance, but we need signature from this board before we can submit. So we have to come back to this board once we get the revised numbers from the land court.
Okay,
That's
very
it.
well. I'm going to ask you to point out to us, because I only had a little piece of paper to look at, and I couldn't see some things. Now I've got a big piece here. The first one was to change the plan title to reflect case number 114008-219. I see that over on the corner there.
Yes,
That's visible. Number 2 is make lot numbers 1947, 1948, and 1950.
those are in the middle
I
of,
didn't see 1950. Is that visible? I see the, could you point that out to us? The 1948 is where you see Azalea Lane. Just look up at that skinny little
yes?
road there. It's 1948.
I believe it's 47, 48, and 49. We created 3 lots, not 4.
It said make lot numbers 47, 48, and 1950. I'm looking for 1950.
All right, we don't have a 1950, it's 47,
Oh,
47,
so that's a
48, and
mistake?
49, yes.
Okay, so take that 1950 off and it's 49.
Yes.
That was just a typo, I guess?
I guess, yes.
Okay.
Is that the cover letter?
Pardon me?
Is that the letter
It
from?
says 1950 on the
understood.
page, yeah, okay. Number 3 is add reference to the LC plan number of all abutting lots. Could you show me where that is?
That's basically on some of the abutters, we added the line court number on those.
And what am I looking at?
Right in the, where it says now or formerly, for the abutting properties,
Oh, LCP, okay. What does LCP stand for?
land court plan.
Land court plan, okay, there we go. And then show the opposite side of Red Brook Road. I guess that's right there. Add the chords with bearings for each lot's curved segment along Azalea Lane.
Okay, so if you look at the frontage on Azalea Lane, you'll see the radius and the arc length, but then you'll also see a bearing and distance, which is the chord length from corner to corner.
Okay. These columns here? Says chord.
If I could show you, right,
Yes,
this bearing and distance on all 3.
okay. Oh, I got it. This is chords. So there are 3 chords?
3 frontages and 3 chords, yes.
Okay. Label the easement as proposed easement.
Correct, that's
I
in the
see it
middle,
up
that's
here.
lot 1948 in the middle.
I see it. Oh, there, let's see. Let's see, proposed use easement. Are there 2 of them?
If you look at the driveway access there, the proposed 20-foot access and utility easement.
I see 2 proposed easements. Is that what,
There's the proposed use easement on, sorry, proposed access easement on 948, and there's the proposed use easement on the
Okay.
back property,
I got it.
lot 52.
Okay. And set bounds in 2 locations.
Correct, one on the left-hand side behind the pool deck, and one on the right-hand side at an angle point in the property line.
Could you show me where that is?
Right
Sure.
here.
The first one is just to the left of the pool right here,
Okay.
and the other one is on the other side, in the middle of the pool.
See the little
Okay.
square?
And the update the date of the field survey. Would that be the most recent date?
Correct, yes, our original field survey was done back in 2020, so we were required to go back out and check the monuments to see they were in the same position.
Would this be 1/15/24,
Yes,
the update? Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So do I hear a motion? Mary?
Yeah, I make a motion that we re-endorse this plan as an approval not required
Yeah.
with the updates as requested by Land Corp.
Okay. Any-
Second.
Second? How many say aye?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, sir.
thank you.
You have to sign it?
Yes, please, right there. Thank you.
Oh, I didn't put the date on.
2/7, I believe.
That's all right, no comments. Thank you, members. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
I see you.
Next, we have new business. Review of draft zoning article intended to authorize indoor recreation facilities in the I-1 zoning district and possible vote to submit to the Select Board for consideration on the May 2024 town meeting warrant. This is the pickleball matter that this is generated. This is the warrant that our town planner drafted. He wants to do, as you recall from last time, a pickleball court in industrial when it's only allowed at this point in time, a pickleball interior indoor recreation facility in the commercial zone. So this would change the warrant or, amend it such that it would be allowed in the industrial by special permit. Do I hear a motion?
Yep, I make a motion that we recommend the select board, that we submit this to the select board for consideration for the next town meeting warrant.
Second.
How many are for this?
I am. I'm for
Aye.
this.
Aye.
Pass. Okay. 6B is request to release the performance guarantee securing construction completion for the project referred to as the cottages at New Seabury Phase 3, oceanfront subdivision, and also the performance bond for the cottages at New Seabury Phase 4. We don't have to all look at this because the town planner and I have gone over it in detail. The first one is Phase 3 at New Seabury, and they are looking for a release in total, in its entirety, of $1,009,620. May I have a motion?
Do you want Ed to give his report to the board first?
Oh, yeah, of course. Ed, do you agree, well, can I ask?
Let's have
him
him
that?
give the report on it,
Yeah.
on the
Do you
request.
agree that that is a correct number and that all work has been completed?
So Madam Chair, I'll make it easy for you overall.
Okay.
They've requested release of a lot of funds, basically all the funds that are held for the oceanfront project and the cottages at New Seabury Phase 3. All the work, and I quite late in the day, sent a letter to this effect to the
Yeah.
board.
We're looking at it.
Okay, that basically says that everything for the first two projects is complete and acceptable. They've made a few changes, I did a few inspections, they've done the things that I've asked them to do to bring various items up to code, so we're in good shape there. So I would recommend all the funds they're requesting for the oceanfront Coastline Drive, also known as the Fairway Homes at Seaside, that project and the cottages at New Seabury Phase 3, all those funds be released. On the cottages at New Seabury Phase 4, they have submitted a letter explaining, well, the letter included all three projects, but the letter explains that they would like to have a number of the things that were held, that are now completed. They'd like to release all but two items that aren't complete. And they certainly agree, we're in complete agreement there, that the paving top course and some additional catch basin cleaning that we do just before turning the project over and closing it out. So all the construction debris and sand and silt that's collected in the catch basin during construction gets removed, and the drainage system starts fresh like it was designed and intended to be. And they agree with that. I did add one more recommendation to the list that I briefly discussed with the group, and that was a final as-built plan. We typically require a final as-built plan for subdivisions and for other projects, And they have the ability to do that on this project, so I would recommend that we request that they do that as well. And I added a small amount into the total, as you can see on my front page there, the amount of $6,000 to the total, and resulting in the overall total record amount to be held $185,100 versus the $176,100 that they had requested. So that's the only difference. Everything
Okay.
else we're on the same page about.
Okay.
And subject to your questions, that's really all I have.
So actually, on that Phase 4, Ed, it would be, the amount that would be paid over to them would be $1,418,280 minus 185,100. So it would, you know, we'd have to do the math there. It's not going to be 242,180. It's going to be, right, 1,418,280 minus
I would,
185.
I would just suggest that if you accept Ed's recommendation to take a motion to reduce the guarantee to 185,100.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's take a motion now.
So, all right, so we have Phase 3 and Phase 4,
Correct.
right?
Right.
And Ed, did you get your as-built for Phase 3?
So we have drawings for Phase 3. Phase 3 was done some time ago, many, several years ago. And so we actually have plans for Phase 3. I wouldn't call them complete as-built plans, but they're certainly acceptable record plans to show where all the infrastructure is.
So you're comfortable with us
Yes,
releasing Phase 3? And I think we would do that in a separate vote from Phase 4, right?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Separate
So
votes.
what number are we releasing for Phase 3?
Phase 3, we are releasing $1,009,620.
Okay,
I think you're finding that the construction is complete and you're
Because it
reducing the
is,
bond to
it's,
zero.
it's complete.
okay.
There's nothing left to do.
Okay, so I make a motion that we accept the board's engineering report and reduce the bond of Phase 3 to $0.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Passes.
All right, now Phase
Phase 4.
4, we want to condition the release on a as-built
Yeah.
being provided to
Right.
our town engineer.
Plus we want $185,100 to be held, right?
So you'd be reducing the value of the bond to 185,100, inclusive of an additional, I believe, $6,000 for the production of an as-built plan.
Okay.
So I make a motion.
Go
And for
ahead.
Phase 3, that we reduce the bond amount to $185,000.
Phase 4, Mary,
Oh.
apologies.
I make a motion for Phase 4 to reduce the bond to $185,100 on the condition that we receive a
Yeah, good.
as-built plan.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 So I made the motion, Dennis, you seconded it, right? Okay.
Okay. Passes. Last one, Oceanfront subdivision, Coastline Drive.
So that's all done.
Well, we didn't vote on it yet.
I thought we only had 2.
We have 3. The
Oh.
last one is Oceanfront. The applicant, the 65,000, I have a different number from originally, but the amount you have is $65,148.50 that we could release.
Correct. You took in a guarantee for this project on June 5th, 2013, in cash for $422,773.50, which was reduced in October of 2014 to 105 and change, and further reduced again in December of 2015 to the $65,148.50, which is the value I have on record in
Okay.
Town Hall. So that is the value that I have, that we are retaining, and the request is to reduce that amount further to 0.
Take a motion.
Oh, wait, so that's Coastline Drive. Ed, I'm sorry, can you let me know if Coastline Drive is all done to your satisfaction?
Yes, that is also one that I inspected. That was done way before phase 3. And we walked around the site, did a full walk-around inspection of the site. It's 100% complete, and I got some more documentation from them as well.
Okay, I make a motion that we reduce the bond for the oceanfront subdivision Coastline Drive to the amount of $0.
Second?
Oh, and that we accept the engineer's report.
And yes, in total. Yes.
Okay, aye.
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 Motion passes.
Thank you, Ed. I know
Thank
that's a
you.
lot of work. You make it just seem so easy.
Yeah, and kudos to the folks from New Seabury. They were very cooperative and helpful to work with both Tamara Joyce and Nick Delaney. So appreciate working with the both of them.
Thank you,
And
Ed.
of course, we still have work to finish on phase 4. We're not quite done on phase 4, so we
Right.
still have a little work to do.
Okay, very well. Thank you. Old business. Mike is not here, so he's not going to do the presentation for the LCP. So could we move that, do you know if he's going to be here next time?
I don't, but know what his plans are for the 21st. And Dale was also supposed to make
Right.
to discuss matters in the implementation table. I think I would appreciate if the board would consider having another special meeting to go through that stuff.
Okay,
I have a consideration for you.
Yeah.
The department, the natural resources, I think we can get through with what we have here.
Okay.
The municipal buildings, facilities, and services, have you read it?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's chaotic. I think it needs more work.
Okay.
I think it needs more professional work from you and the consultant.
Okay.
I really couldn't make heads or tails of it.
Okay.
There were very specific things, like down to the nitty gritty, and then like huge things.
Okay.
And municipal buildings, facilities, and services is like a really big topic, right? Because, I mean, it's almost like I need a list of what those are. Because services are like when people come into town hall, right?
Sure.
Isn't it police and fire?
Sure, yeah.
So I don't know if we have their draft chapter on this that would actually list what falls under this chapter, because I was getting kind of confused.
Sure.
is there a chapter written on this yet?
Yes.
Well, maybe if we could see the written chapter.
Yeah.
Then we could compare it to these.
No problem.
Okay,
And like, I didn't really see, like, I saw a reference to a new fire station on the north end of town, but I didn't see anything about the current facilities, do you know what I mean? And their staffing levels, because it's service. This is a huge chapter.
That's
I make a recommendation that we get the written language that- as we have with economic development and some of the
Yep.
other categories. We read that carefully and we review this, and then we come back with our issues.
fine.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good chapter, there's a lot in there, it's almost just like an organizing thing.
Sure,
You know, it needs to be digested a little more.
no problem.
So when could we get that chapter?
I can send it tomorrow.
Okay,
I have some, I've had to update these chapters.
Yeah.
Because so much
What are you
time has
talking
lapsed. For data. In fact, like, for example, libraries converted 3 part-time employees to 3 full-time employees.
Okay.
DPW fleets have changed, so I'm going through the motions of updating that
Yeah,
data.
yeah.
So I'm awaiting a few comments from Catherine on this specific chapter. But I'm gonna provide it to you tomorrow with the caveat that, I haven't received full comments back from Catherine.
well, do you want to wait then till you get it?
I'd like to put your eyes on it, truthfully. I want to make sure we keep moving
All
forward,
right.
so I'm going to send it to you in the morning.
Okay, all right.
Right, and I think there's been a lot more attention paid to the capital plan, right? Because it has to come to town meeting, somebody read the charter really, or the administrative code real carefully, and like, oh, this is supposed to go to the town meeting, so I don't know if this has been looked at compared to our capital plan. I don't know if they call it the SIP, I don't know what they call it.
Yeah, CIP, yeah.
Because I know Catherine will have some comments, but I think that the fire and the police, they put in requests in the capital plan, that it's a 5-year plan. And I haven't seen it, and I don't know if that's all been captured in here, or could be under a kind of a general, thing.
Okay,
Does that sound good?
that does sound good.
Okay. All right, so we don't need to vote on this, we just agree that we'll get the printed thing. Do we have anything else that we want to get? Is the natural resources, has that been done already?
Oh, yeah,
And the transportation and circulation?
done.
Well, do you want to give us all that?
Yeah, and in fact, I think I did provide you
Some of it
the
is
chapters.
already-
I didn't get that.
It was in 2 packets ago, maybe. I'm providing them to you as they
Yeah,
come.
We
I-
have some,
It's too
but-
bad.
I don't, yeah, so I don't have every chapter
Okay,
100% complete. I have, I'd say, 50% of the chapters, and I'm providing them to you iteratively as we go.
okay. So, can we agree that we'll take these up next meeting, provided that
We have time
people are here?
and energy.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a big
Well, we're
meeting.
gonna have
Oh, you want to do a special
We
one?
should-
I need the energy. I really want to get this to town meeting in October.
okay.
How's the sustainability chapter coming?
The sustainability chapter is lacking, I think, discussion relative to solid waste management. So I think that's a point of discussion that we need to bring. It's something I'm talking about with Catherine as well. I'd say the implementation table is solid as it sits, but I think it's missing
I
important
gave you that
components.
stuff.
Well, they-
Did you look at that thing I gave you?
I don't remember what you gave me, Mary.
Okay, I'll email it to you again.
When you're looking at that, I hope you look at the sewer system, the sludge, to get rid of it. Because they're having a
It's
problem
gonna be an
now
issue, is an issue.
to get rid of it, so
Yeah.
that should be in that plan to make sure.
Yeah, so I think there's a piece missing in the
Okay.
sustainability chapter.
Yeah, I'll send it to you again. I don't know if these consultants have done a sustainability chapter, but when I started reading other people's sustainability chapters, we're really missing a lot.
Yeah, I think there's pieces missing.
And of course, this is based on, our survey, our public comment. Our consultant and you are supposed to fill in those gaps, but there's some standard things in sustainability chapters that aren't in ours. And I'm like, ooh, we're right on the coast, like, all right.
Well, and mostly for like coastal resilience, it makes specific reference to our MVP plan.
Right. And we just did the hazard mitigation plan.
Correct.
Which is really good. But it's almost like some of those should be somehow referenced in the implementation chapter.
Okay.
I did read the hazard mitigation plan, and it was excellent. And unfortunately, I didn't read it in time, because the public comments were December 22nd, and it was like in January that I read it.
I will still take your, it's at MEMA right now for review. That one took a substantial amount of editing. So I'm happy you're pleased with it.
Yeah, it was
A lot of work.
It's really good. I mean, not like the last one wasn't, but this one is just super duper. So it was worth all that time.
Okay, moving on to town planner report, Harbor Management Planning Committee. Anything?
They did meet
Oh, wait,
recently.
you did board engineer report. You
Oh,
skipped.
is there anything, I'm sorry, Ed, I beg your pardon. Is there anything more you have to update?
All I was going to let the board know was that I do have a meeting in the morning with Catherine, the DPW director, and Mr. Moran out at Aquay Highlands. We're going to take a look at the drainage system out there and talk about the upcoming spring maintenance events that he's planning to do.
Great.
Okay,
So there is
You'll
a
be in
couple
our
areas
thoughts,
that
Ed.
They're showing some areas. There's some areas showing evidence that need some maintenance. Catherine brought it to our attention, and I set up a meeting for tomorrow at noon, and I'll be down there to do that.
okay. Anything else?
And that's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you. Apologize for that, Ed.
No worries.
I have nothing on water quality issues. Town,
I do have two announcements
okay.
about water quality. is it UMass Dartmouth is coming on Monday to the Board of Selectmen? The
I
Select
haven't
Board
reviewed the
meeting.
agenda, so
I
I just
didn't
don't
know.
know.
Yeah, so that big report from SMAST, is that what it is? The people that study our water at UMass, they're coming on Monday to the Select Board meeting. So everybody tune in, that will be pretty important. And then,
What time that's,
that starts at 6:30, but I haven't seen the agenda yet, so I don't exactly know. But they come and do slides, and they do the water
is
quality.
that really part of Brian,
That's,
Howe?
yes, that's Brian Howe's legacy
Yeah, 'cause we
department.
start there,
Yeah.
right.
And then on Thursday, this Thursday at 2,
Okay, yeah, the sewer.
the Association to Preserve Cape Cod, Andrew Gottlieb's executive director, he's coming to talk about the pond and waterways report that they put out. So,
Okay,
so
thank you.
sewer commission tomorrow at 2, and then Monday, 6:30 with the select board.
Very good.
Or go Monday.
Harbor Management Planning Committee update.
I don't have a report. The committee did meet recently, but I had a conflict and couldn't attend, so I don't have a report this evening. Perhaps Dale can report. at our
Housing
next meeting.
production.
Housing production plan, so I have a revised draft with an executive summary that I'm preparing to issue to everyone for public comment. I did upload it to the website today. It is not live yet, but I'm gonna provide you the link in the morning so that you can begin consuming it. I've drafted a press release to send to the enterprise to advertise a public comment period, which I'm proposing to open on Monday and stay open for 3 weeks until March
Monday, which is
the 12th, I believe.
February 12th.
12th.
Through March 6th, 3 weeks. And so 3-week comment will compile any comments received. The Affordable Housing Committee will meet in March, at which time we would present those comments to them, provide them an opportunity to make any suggested edits in accordance with the comments received. We would make those changes and then formally submit that draft to this board and the select board for hopeful adoption at your second meeting in March.
Okay.
Along with the select board second meeting in March. So look out for your emails from me tomorrow. I'm gonna leave the link,
Okay,
I think, private until the
Yeah.
comment period opens. You can obviously share that link with individuals, but until the comment period is live, I don't wanna make it live on the website.
okay.
But if anyone asks, they can receive it from my office with certainty. And so, yeah, that's it. I'm hoping we can shut the door on that plan mid to late March.
Very good.
I will further note that our grant from the commission was fully closed out and we were fully reimbursed for that process.
Yeah, good.
So,
Excellent.
that was great. And then, so thank you to the CPC for the rest of that money. And then just lastly, I put in your packet, the Attorney General's approval of your October
I'll
2023
go through that,
town
because I'm
meeting
going to cover a few more points.
approval. So go ahead, Madam.
This was a letter from the Attorney General to Debbie Kay, dated January 17, 2024. They approved Article 2, 3, and 4. They approved the floodplain bylaw with no fill. They approved the accessory dwelling where the owner can only rent out either the ADU or the primary, but not together. And they approved the ADU, Article 4, which is the ADU size cannot be less than 350 square feet nor more than 900 square feet. Article 6 was the tree bylaw, and in Article 3 is the accessory dwelling, only rent one at a time. The Article 3, they told us on page 2, where you see the highlighted words, "The use of land or structures for an accessory dwelling unit under this paragraph shall not require owner occupancy of either the accessory dwelling unit or the principal dwelling." There's going to be, they're going to try to pass this at the state level, which would vitiate our amendment. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go forward to get approval at town meeting on our amendment, our article, and then if the state passes, then we have to amend to delete it or,
Well, your The Attorney General approved your last amendment. They're just noting
Yes.
that the state is contemplating
Yes,
changes that
so
would
this
negate
might
this
have a
requirement.
short life,
So if
life.
that would occur at that time, I would suggest doing a housekeeping article to be consistent with state.
which is, what is a housekeeping article?
Oh, just, we would make a minor modification to the zoning
Oh,
bylaw in accordance with the
modify it.
statute, yes.
Yeah, okay. And then,
So the Affordable Homes Act, right, was submitted by the governor's office to the legislature in September or October, right? And in that, there's that provision to disallow any owner occupancy requirement
Right.
for ADUs. However, there is provision in the Homes Act to set up seasonal communities, such as Cape Cod and out in Western Mass and the Berkshires, where there's a lot of seasonal housing, like, I mean, on an average, in the whole Cape is 30%. 30% of our housing stock is used only seasonally. So there's been, our ADU bylaws are designed to kind of protect us from short-term rentals, you know? Vacation homes in the middle of residential neighborhoods. So there could be a provision passed that we would get special, I don't know, relief from ADU, what they want to pass at the state level about ADUs, because we're a seasonal community.
okay, well, we'll wait and see what happens. Meantime, we'll go forward at
Yeah.
town meeting.
I don't know if anybody's approached town hall on that.
No.
Yeah. So,
Not my office.
And then,
no, I don't,
the last
think
one
they were
on the
here.
tree preservation bylaw, our plan was it's a revenue account, and we deposit any money that we get from, the tree bylaw into a fund, into the town general fund, and then each town meeting, we move that money out for purposes of, tree beautification on public land and so on. We're
Correct.
not going to be doing, from what I'm reading here,
A revolving fund.
this, what do they call it,
A revolving fund.
a revolving fund? That seems so complicated. So it's just easier just to take that money gathered during the period before.
Well, in this case, and this is what the accountant had pointed out when we first drafted the article, any fund created for this specific purpose can't carry over year to be
Yeah.
used for that purpose. It's going, at the end of every fiscal year, we're going to do an accounting of that fund, and town meeting will have to be asked to appropriate those funds for those activities. So the Attorney General is just saying, we approve this, just be sure that the money is appropriated annually and not into a revolving fund.
So
So
let me
they are
a-
affirming what
Let
the
me
town
ask you
accountant had
that.
called out.
If it's appropriated, does it mean it has to be put to use each and every, at this end of fiscal year after it's appropriated? Do we have to use that money to buy trees and plant trees for the town? Or can that money,
Be appropriated for something else?
no, not as something else, but just with, not utilized, maybe because
Put it
it's
in the
not.
bank, like another
Yeah.
way.
I mean, I think so. I think the illegal part of this would have been if we were to carry over the funds and spend them
Okay,
without
use it for something
appropriation.
else.
Correct.
Okay,
Any specific financial related questions, though, I would defer to the town accountant. I'm not an expert in that regard.
okay. So,
The one thing,
the
if I
money coming
may,
in first, right?
and the reason I wanted to specifically report to you about the AG's approval is because the tree bylaw is now active.
yeah,
And so we've developed application forms, we've developed, the internal paperwork more or less to effectuate the program. But I am intending on asking for a month grace period to do a press release,
Oh, yeah.
and hold a workshop and write some guidance documents for builders and developers, and begin enforcing the provisions of the tree bylaw in March. Similarly to how we dealt with the jurisdictional increase for the Conservation Commission, my office needs a little bit of time to educate folks appropriately. So the bylaw is on the books. I'm finalizing the details of a press release now for the newspaper. with plans to provide that guidance to the building department and to developers and to have a workshop, should it be attended between now and say early March. So I'd like to have a 4-week grace period to begin enforcing the provisions of the tree bylaw.
Do we need to vote on that?
No,
No.
I don't think so. I
We-
just want
I
to let
think
you,
we all agree
I'd like to
because
let you know, yeah.
It's just, you got so many things on your plate right now.
And so we're very, very close, but I think the one thing I don't want to have happen is, you know, folks coming in to, I don't want them to be caught off guard when they make an application. And
Are you
so,
gonna put a notification on the website on
oh,
that
yes,
matter?
yes, so we're gonna set up a new page on the planning department page relative to the tree bylaw, where you can access the application forms, where we'll include the guidance documents and some information relative to process. We just need a little bit more time to get it all put together.
So you're gonna contract contractors to, like,
To monitor and enforce?
you wanna tell them what's coming down the pike? You know, like, landscapers and,
Oh, yeah, that's the
they-
intention, that's why I want the grace period.
yeah, so they can tell the owner, hey, there's new laws, you know, they can also help you get that out of it. Okay, good.
Okay. Board member committee reports, Cape Cod Commission,
Cape Cod Commission is working on their regional housing strategy. They are visiting the Yarmouth Community Housing Committee and making a public presentation. So I'll send you that link, because that will be to send out to the board, because it's on Zoom, so you can tune in, and that's Monday. It's an early meeting. It starts at 3. So that's what I have about the Cape Cod Commission.
charter review.
Charter Review meets tomorrow night. We're going to vote on our town meeting warrant recommendations and articles, which include $100,000 for the purpose of funding an open space and rec plan, $550,000 for the purpose of funding the Ashumet Pond Restoration and Rehabilitation Project, which includes an alum treatment for Ashumet Pond. And boy, has DNR, Ashley Fisher, done a great job. She's right in there negotiating with the military to get us funding. What happens is we pay out for these services, and the federal government has pledged to reimburse us 50%. So that's great. The next one is, we're working on buying some land off of Route 130 by Pickerel Cove, but we don't have a dollar figure yet. So we're thinking of submitting an like a placeholder to the Board of Selectmen. So if we can get the appraisal done and negotiate a price for the town to offer it, we're all set, and we can consider that at town meeting. And the last one, $74,160 for some improvements over at Heritage Park. There's some recreational facilities that need some
Some update.
sprucing up. And it was so nice because all the local sports mums and dads came. So that was great. They all support, I think it's soccer and baseball would benefit the most from these. It's just some small upgrades, but it was nice to see all the mums and dads come. And I did remind them to make sure they're registered to vote and come to town meeting. And also, we had a lot of people come about Ashumet Pond. So one meeting at the CPC, the right half was all the sports mom and dads, and to the left was all the Ashumet Pond people. The room was filled. I was like, what is going on? Are you sure it's the CPC? But it was great. And Ashumet Pond, part of it is in Falmouth, right? And so there was a lot of people from Falmouth, and we had a discussion about, co-funding
Yeah, what are they saying on that?
projects. So that's I've been delegated to, we're never on the same cycle as they are. And our DNR director, Ashley Fisher, is adamant that she wants this to go forward now.
Yeah.
So my job is to coordinate with the Friends of Ashumet Pond and get them to approach the town of Falmouth for a little bit of kick-in, because this is a 3-year project. So there's some monitoring and reporting that they can help with at the end of the project. Whereas we can go forward with the alum treatment now, but in out years, there's ways that they can contribute.
Yeah.
So they are doing a boat ramp. They have a boat ramp, and they are taking care of that cost. So they are doing stuff for the pond, but it might be nice if they contribute a little bit to the alum treatment.
Okay.
Great.
CPC,
That was CPC.
oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, charter review. Charter review.
What happened?
I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm thinking
I was
charter
confused,
review.
I was there.
This was CPC.
Yeah.
Charter review, we've already gone through the charter once, we're going through it again, and John Miller is our chair, and he drafted up a survey, and it's like 7 questions, and it's awesome. So hopefully in March, we'll be releasing this survey. So we have consensus on most things, but the things that we didn't have consensus on are gonna be on the survey to kind of see what people think. So it's really a good group, it's really taking this pretty seriously.
What about Debbie Davies?
That's on there. So it has like, it has several committees to see if they should be elected or appointed. In
Several
town-
committees?
Several committees, like sewer commission used to be elected,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
So there's like a list. Planning board is not on that list, but there's a list that came up in conversation. Sometimes it was just somebody from the public that said that, and the charter review committee really didn't have consensus, you know? So, we've got them on the survey.
Okay, good.
Well, I know how you're gonna vote.
Oh, a town meeting, I wanna, maybe that's,
I mean, I know how you're gonna fill out the survey, and I think everybody is gonna, agree with you.
the most important was for me is
Yeah.
Debbie Damien, 'cause she should be independent from the town.
Yeah.
Because she answers everybody's question,
Yeah.
you know. Okay, never mind. All right, let's move on.
Okay, there's no design review until March 19th. Plan review?
Then we met yesterday to review an application for a personal kennel at home. It was approved. The yard in question was already secure. There were no complaints by police department or the Board of Health. No dog attacks or anything like that. 7 chihuahuas.
7 chihuahuas.
Yes, indeed. So, pretty benign request approved. They still need to go to the Board of Health for their final license.
Remember the kennel with the pit bulls?
So they actually have a
Yeah,
question.
we had like Channel 5 down here covering town meeting. It was like
So it was
unbelievable.
asked of me by the health agent why we have the plan review requirement in the zoning bylaw for a personal kennel license. And I feel like I remember some of you telling me that you had a crazy town meeting about this issue.
Yeah.
Do any of you
Kennels?
remember what it was?
I don't exactly know, but I gotta tell you,
There was a kennel right near Pickle Cove there, and they wanted to put, I forget how many dogs and stuff, but everybody was upset about it, you know? And they were gonna raise, I think it was pit bulls.
If you think back, I would be curious to know what your memory is of what
I-
you can churn up relative to.
I think it's
How it ended up in the zoning bylaw.
large dogs that are stereotyped as aggressive.
Okay.
And
Because most of the personal kennel licenses we deal with, there's been maybe 3 in my 6 years. They're largely people with a lot of small dogs.
Yeah.
And no structures contemplated, like they're not erecting any structure on their lot, it's just, they have more than 5 dogs, so they need to get a personal kennel license.
One of the problems was the noise, they were scared, the barking.
Right.
And they could be outside, you know, during the day. People say, I don't wanna hear barking dogs, and they were close to a lot of
I
residents.
think another challenge is that most of these requests come in after the fact. No one knows they need to get a personal kennel license. And so a neighbor complains, or maybe they come to renew their license with the town clerk, and that's how it gets triggered. So most of the time, these dog owners have lived in their home for years with their multiple dogs, and then they have to come in after the fact.
Oh, okay.
We had the
So-
same,
I think it's I think, yeah,
There are very few, I mean, most people don't
Yeah.
have that many
Saying
dogs,
It's
but,
not to sell these animals. If you have 5 or more dogs, you have to have a personal kennel license.
yeah.
correct,
Just your own pets.
Yeah.
You have
correct.
5 dogs.
Yeah,
Is it one for cats?
no,
Oh,
Thank goodness. I only have
it was
2.
down the street from you, actually.
last year in my neighborhood, the lady had, I think it was 5 or 6 dogs, but nobody knew it was a kennel. And she advertised it online.
She was
and
selling
stuff,
dogs, yeah.
So people found out. And,
Oh.
I think we denied that application.
yeah, we denied it because she lied.
She lied a
I got
lot.
rid of 3 of the dogs, my daughter has them.
Yeah.
And she goes, I have to mind them sometimes for a month or 2. It was always at the
Huh.
breeding season. If you thought about it, when she was minding the dog. But if they stopped her, she could keep 3
huh.
and stuff, you know?
Interesting.
I'd leave it alone unless you want to have a lot of people at town meeting.
Yeah,
Like, let them just go through site plan review.
I asked the health agent if he was adamant about this to provide you guys with a memo explaining his rationale, and we go from there.
Yeah, will, it'll be hotly contested. It might be just better just to let it lie. Sorry, it's more work for you guys, but,
A lot
Okay.
of it don't affect cats.
yeah.
I like cats.
No one for the EOC here tonight.
They did meet, that's what I know.
And District Commission. Who's
No,
on?
no meeting. Anything
meeting.
coming up, Evan?
Yeah, I mean, we do need to meet, because
Who took Earl? We got somebody to take Earl's place.
I've been working with Earl's son, Chiefy, to try and get Earl formally resigned. And I've asked Chiefy to consider
Him tomorrow.
serving on the Historic District Commission. We have new applicants as well, who've submitted letters of interest, who've been out of town, and I think they're gonna be back in town. So we do
Okay.
need to convene to interview those candidates, to reaffirm the 2 you've already put forth, because the policy change shifted and we never got to reconvene. And I am anticipating an application to this board for a project on Main Street, which is in the Historic District, which will require Historic District review. I will have a conflict on that application, will need to recuse myself from it, so we need to figure out how to get you guys guidance on that.
Their expansion.
What
And
what
so
is
no-
what is the project?
It is like a plumbing supply company, I think, and ancillary offices. And so those plans have not been filed yet with my office, but I do anticipate them in the near future. And that would require special permit review and historic district review as well.
And the parsonage, I see they were tenting it.
I'm not up to snuff on on the activity there. I don't know.
And what I know, it's weather tight.
It's one of that, yeah. I've been-
They wanted to make it weather tight. I think there was a little bit of a fire in there.
There was an arson
Yeah,
there, yeah.
big fire.
And so they went in there and made it weather tight.
Did they do all the preconditions? Are they ready to go forward on this?
I don't have any update from the Tribal Historic
Got a
Preservation
good
Office.
company there, though.
Yeah. Company I never see here.
Are you going for DLTA money?
I don't, I've been thinking about it, I don't know what to apply for. It's like, the only thing I had considered was for the VFW site, after a feasibility study gets done, having, like a master plan done of that whole area, inclusive of the adjacent lots that the town owns, but I don't necessarily need another project, you know what I mean? So if there's anything the board wants to consider submitting for, please let me know.
It's just such a short turn.
It is.
So that state money, it's through the county, the DLTA money. You get it like in July and you have to spend it
New Year.
by December 31st, and it takes you at least 6 to 8 weeks to procure the stuff. It's almost
That's
like
true.
you'd have to procure it now.
It's a little challenging.
You'd have to procure it now and be ready to go July 1st when they release the funds. It's impossible.
We shoehorned it in for the HPP though, well done.
Yeah.
Years ago, I had to buy stock. I taught this woman in construction. And I had to buy, each of them got $300 worth of tools. But the first guy that had it, he just went to anybody, and I got everything cheaper and more stuff. But I had like, I think it was 15,000 left over. I almost got fired.
Oh,
They told me, you gotta spend all that money, so next year when you
Yep.
get more, and I said, that don't make sense. And they
Yep.
got real mad at me, they said, go buy something else, just to spend it, it was like,
Something else that you could use in the future.
yeah, I was, you
That
know,
sounds like a smart idea.
yeah, but they didn't like that, but that's like,
they didn't like
that's like the
that.
state though, you have to spend that money
Yeah,
by the end of the year, or
Yeah.
you're not gonna get no, whatever, you're
Yeah.
gonna punish you.
Okay, I'd like to take a motion to adjourn.
so
Not
moved.
tonight, we're staying. No.
I'm leaving.
Motion we adjourn?
Second. All those
Aye.
in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.